Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vashtaya Bhutale Shemati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachaline Nivasisha Shunyavadi Pushtatara Satanine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me find it here on my desktop. We have Bhagavatamrta. There you go. Hare Krishna. Now, I read back a few verses, so I think it'd be good. There's only a few verses where to get a context. Let's just go back and I'll just read the verses. So, Gopa-kumara, he's been advised by Narada to, anyone can remember what he's been advised to do? It's here on the verses.
Chant Lord Ram's name?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Here it is.
That was, yeah. So back to 238. Although this topic is most confidential and should not be talked about here, by the weight of your anxiety, I had been forced to speak openly. Far from here lies Ayodhya, the splendid city of Raghupati, the divine master of the Raghu dynasty. And beyond that shines the city of Dwarka, dear to the divine master of the Yadus. Dwarka resembles the blessed and charming Mathura. Go to that Dwarka and worship with your eyes your beloved Lord. But first, so before you go there, but first hear from me about an excellent method for approaching Ayodhya, a method approved by those whose only taste is for the service of Lord Ramachandra's lotus feet. Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, source of all incarnations, and simply by worship of him, everything can be obtained. Yet I shall give you teachings to help you achieve the special taste for the divine lotus feet of Lord Ram, the hero of the Raghus. Right? So Krishna's been stated here as supreme, the original personality of Godhead. But Gopa-kumara is being advised, lovingly advised here, to experience a special taste for the lotus feet of Lord Ram. And so then he gives him like a sadhan here. So he gives him a mantra to chant. So as you can perhaps learn this, someone who's infused to worship Lord Ram's lotus feet is like a mantra here. O husband of Sita, Raghunath, elder brother of Lakshman, O Lord, dear master of Sri Hanuman. Okay, so you can chant that. We just passed Ram Navami, isn't it? And remember the qualities, beauty, and power of Lord Ramachandra as revealed in the Vedas and other scriptures. So I think Ramsi Bhatt mentioned it, and I've also read it myself when he gave class, that Lord Ram's considered to be just almost like practically Krishna in his opulences, in a display of his opulences. Yeah. So remember the qualities, beauty, and power of Lord Ramachandra as revealed in the Vedas and other scriptures. And then we're picking up here today, text 244. All right. So there's a little context of where we left off last week. So Mother Sahachari, thank you. You have your hand raised. You can read your verses.
Text 244. One should follow whatever path leads to attaining one's own worshipable deity. That is the most intelligent way to act. Persons exclusively devoted to their object of worship should be very much attracted to anything in which they find even a faint scent of their deity's presence. Commentary. Gopa-kumara might hesitate to approach Lord Ramachandra, After all, Sri Madan Gopal Dev has long ago stolen Gopa-kumara's heart, and Gopa-kumara has since then lost interest in everything and everyone else. So how can he now be expected to develop love for someone else? Narada clears this potential doubt by assuming him that approaching Lord Ramacandra is the wisest thing he can do for his own self-interest. He should follow the logic Swakaryam Utharate Pragna Karya Tvamesva Mukruhata. An intelligent person should somehow do the needful. One who spoils the business at hand is a fool. Gopa-kumara should therefore approach his destination by stages, going first to Ayodhya and then to Dwarka, where he will meet his worshipable Lord. Gopa-kumara will achieve Lord Gopala Dev by the special mercy of the Supreme Lord in his form of Sri Raghunath, just as he achieved Lord Vishnu by the special mercy of Lord Shiva. But won't this violate Gopa-kumara's chaste vow to worship only one deity? No, because a devotee fixed in exclusive devotion to his Ishtadev will be spontaneously attracted to whatever has even a slightest fragrance of his own Lord's presence. Narada is confident that meeting Lord Ramacandra will lead Gopa-kumara to the perfection of happiness.
I was
Yes.
just thinking, so to get to okay, your worshipable deity is Radha Krishna, but Lord Ram is like so we really have to also respect all Krishna's incarnations as well. That's why we have like Nashinga Chaturdasi and all those festivals.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
There are some Vaishnavas, they normally come under this Bhajanandi Vaishnavas. Well, they will consider a adulteration to meditate or hear Leela of anything else other than Radha Krishna. For them, reading Bhagavad Gita is for Kanishtas. Yeah. But what's being brought out here is that the devotees of, say, Radha Krishna, they're so absorbed in their love and affection for Radha and Krishna that, as described here, anything that gives a faint scent of their Ishtadevi, of their Ishtadev. So all the incarnations are going to exhibit something of Krishna's qualities. And that will enliven the bhakta, and that will enliven the devotee. I think, as we mentioned before, therefore, we love to hear about Krishna appearing very angry, as Lord Nrsimhadev. And we love to hear about Krishna appearing as a perfect king. And I think the gopis even found it quite amusing. I think when Purnamasi told them that Krishna, in one of his previous incarnations, he was Lord Ram. So they were taken aback because Lord Ram is so perfect dharmically, whereas Krishna is always he's always standing above the worldly dharma. But they was very intrigued about that. So yeah, that's correct. It's just like so therefore we also the month of Kartik, that's Krishna, isn't it? It's different, but yeah, so therefore we do not therefore we also read Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada was criticized for naming those deities. He named it Radha Parthasati. You know, Radha Parthasati, is that in LA? Is that?
Really?
Yeah, so for them that name's a bus, because Parthasati means Bhagavad Gita. It's Krishna on the battlefield of Bhagavad Gita. But Krishna called the deities Shri Radha Parthasati. So some so-called, or not, they're Vaishnavas of sorts. they criticized, and actually not just there was one. Yeah, I think with all due respect, I mean he's left the world now. Narayan Maharaj, he was criticizing Prabhupada's naming these deities Radha Parthasati, you know. And Prabhupada was also asked by his disciples about the name Radha Parthasati. So Prabhupada brought out exactly what's being explained here, that that everywhere where there is Krishna, there is Radha. Krishna is never separate from Radha. So therefore, Radha Parthasati. So this seems to be the lesson. This is not maybe. Yeah, no, actually we do hear in Bhagavatam about the different incarnations, yeah. But then it kind of it funnels down to, and Sukadeva Goswami then spends most of his time speaking about Radha Krishna, speaking about Krishna in the 10th canto. Yeah, that's the biggest, the 84 chapters or something that Sukadeva Goswami dedicates to Krishna, where he dedicates a lot less to Lord Ram and Lord Parashuram and Lord Nrsingadev. Yeah. But he mentions all them because they're all incarnations of our worshipful Lord Krishna. So it reminds me of the sages of Dandakaranya, where they were chanting the Gopa-kumara, in other words, meditating on Krishna, Gopal, same as Gopa-kumara. And when they saw Lord Ram in the forest, it inflamed their affection. Seeing Lord Ram inflamed in their heart their affection for Gopal. Yeah, and seeing the beauty of Lord Ram, it reminded them of the beauty of Krishna. And they desired to be like gopis, yeah, to be consorts of Lord Ram. But of course, that wasn't possible. So then Lord Ram blessed them. Lord Ram stroke Krishna blessed them that in the next birth they can take birth as gopis. But the point here is that they recognized Krishna when they saw Ram. Yeah, they were chanting Gopa-kumara, and they became overwhelmed with affection in the mood of conjugal. Yeah. So yes, that's a good summary you gave, you know. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's interesting. I was thinking of that question, and it's been addressed. Sukadeva Sanatana Goswami's addressed the question. I mean, why is he going? Why is he now going to Ayodhya? So there's a special flavor to be experienced, which will ultimately give him further appreciation of his worshipful deity.
Yes. So he goes through all the different places to then enhance his devotion to Krishna.
Yeah, because as I say, all these different incarnations and manifestations, they're all displaying some, to a smaller or larger degree, of the opulences and qualities of Sri Krishna.
Actually, it's good for us as well to follow this as well, because you really have to be focused. Time of that, you really have to be focused where you want to go. You know, so
Yeah.
go through all this. Yeah, you know, Shingadev perfect, everything's good. Lord Ram is everything's good. But no, I want to go back to Goloka Vrindavan, lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. So
Yeah.
go through all these stages is good for us as well.
Yeah, yeah. So that's, as we mentioned many times, this is we are Rupanugas, not Rupanuga Bhaktidhar, Temple Commander, but we are Rupanugas, that we're following the worship and following Rupa Goswami, yeah, as Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But we appreciate all of the Lord's incarnations. Yeah, we love hearing stories about Lord Rahadev and Matsya and Korma, yeah, because these are all our worshipful Lord, appearing in different forms, you know. Okay.
All these forms are within Krishna, right?
Yeah. Yeah, all these forms are in Krishna, but Krishna's form is not necessarily, all it is in one sense. I guess it's in within Lord Ram, it's in Lord Sringadev, but actually all the forms are manifesting from Krishna. And there's pastimes where Krishna actually shows that. Yeah. Yes. So again here, this won't violate Gopa-kumara's, or won't this violate Gopa-kumara's chaste vow to worship only one deity? No. Because the devotee fixed in exclusive devotion to his Ishtadev will spontaneously be attracted, will be spontaneously attracted to whatever has even a slight fragrance of his Lord's presence. Yeah. So therefore, Narad is confident that meeting Lord Ram will just embellish and lead him further to his ultimate goal. You know, it will. He is not going to stop at Ayodhya. Sure, he'll carry on.
This is okay for those who are not fixed in their goals. You know, then they like, okay, yes, Lord Ram, Lord Chingadev, yes, everything's okay, yes. I'm happy going there, I'm happy going here.
Mhm.
But when you
Yeah.
fix your mind to where you want, what you want to do.
Yeah, that's why, you know, I think most of us here were reading Sankara Kaumudi. Yeah, so Lord Chaitanya's come to give something very, very exclusive of, not something very, very confidential, and he's openly made it available. And that's Goloka Vrindavan. Yeah. So that, and as we have read before, actually, that contains the most sweetness, the Leela and pastimes in relationship to Krishna is unprecedentedly sweet in comparison to even the pastimes of Lord Ram. Yeah, so that's the sweetest of the sweet. So therefore, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and then hopefully we'll develop an attraction for what Lord Chaitanya is freely giving. Yeah, anapita chiram chirat kurun avatiyana kolo samapayatum unajvala rasa unajvala vala. So that's the love between Radha and Krishna. What no other incarnation ever offered before. Yeah. Right. Once someone's trying to get in, let me let them in. Yeah. So let's read on a little bit and see how this unfolds. So you can continue, Mother Sachari. Anybody else, please, you're welcome to.
Okay, text 245. If after you have seen the two lotus feet of Sri Ram, your hankering to see your Lord is unappeased, then Ram, whose heart is soft from overflowing compassion, will happily send you to Dwarka. While going there, perform the Lord's Sankirtan as it has been described, and you will finally see your own dear Lord, whom you have so long desired to see, the charming Sri Krishna Chandra, surrounded by the Yadus. Commentary. Narada now further assures Gopa-kumara that Krishna in Dwaraka is the same Madan Gopal he has so long been striving to find. The question is not where Dwaraka is the place to go, but only how to get there as soon as possible. That question Narada also answers here. Gopakumar should perform Sankirtan of Sri Krishna Chandra, loudly and melodiously singing his names, reciting his glories, and offering him prayers. How to do all this is present systematically in the Vedic literature, and Gopakumara should not wonder how to recognize his worshipable Lord upon seeing him, because the Lord, the devotees.
No, sorry. There you go.
1 second. Eternal Master will not keep his glories hidden forever from his dependent. Or alternatively, it may be that Narada is advising Gopa-kumara to follow the Raganuga method of devotional service by listening to the dictates of his heart rather than mechanically following the injunctions of scripture. In any case, the Supreme Lord is all-powerful, so one way or another, devotees who perform Sankirtan of the Lord's names will easily realize all their ambitions.
Hmm. Okay.
Text 247. Ayodhya, Dwaraka, and other such abodes are all regions of Vaikuntha. Surely, therefore, you need not take permission from the Lord of Vaikuntha to leave and go there. Commentary. Koshala, Ayodhya, Dwaraka, and other exalted abodes like Lord Jagannath's Purushottam Kshetra all belong to the greater kingdom of Vaikuntha. Since Gopa-kumara is not planning to go outside Vaikuntha, he does not need special permission from Lord Narayan. Text 248. By his order, I have come here to see you. He knows the movements of everyone's heart, and you should know that from my mouth you should have received his order. Commentary. Even though Gopa-kumara's journey would not take him outside Vaikuntha, he may have wanted to confirm with Lord Narayan that this travel was proper. Earlier, however, Lord Narayan has requested Narada, please meet Gopa-kumara in a private place and fulfill all his desires. So Lord Narayan knows the inner workings of everyone's heart. He had known that Gopa-kumara had been dissatisfied even with living in Vaikuntha, and so he had sent Narada to encourage Gopa-kumara to move on. Text 249.
Yeah, it's quite being dissatisfied with living in Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is a place where there, as we know, is often described being no anxiety, the place of perfection, where everyone is worshipping the Lord, but with great awe and reverence. Yeah. Do you remember when we read about that? And Gopa-kumara wanted to run and embrace the Lord of Vaikuntha, and he was stopped by the servants. And also he preferred to stay dressed in his Gopal Vesh as a cowherd boy, a simple cowherd boy. So yeah, he was told to restrain himself. So he couldn't interact with the Lord of Vaikuntha. And in a way that he has developed attraction for Gopal. So anyway, this just caught me. Dissatisfied even with living in Vaikuntha. Yeah. So he's on the move. Okay. You can carry on, Mother.
Yeah. In any case, the Lord has gone somewhere to bestow his favor on one of his great devotees, since you will be unable to tolerate having to wait for him. Now is the best time for you to go. Commentary. Gopa-kumara might accept everything Narada has told him, but still wonder why he shouldn't meet the Lord in person before departing. Gopa-kumara's devotional mood might inspire him to ask such a question. Anticipating this possibility, Narada informs him that Lord Narayan has gone out of Vaikuntha for a while to visit some favorite devotee. But I just saw him here, Gopa-kumara might contend. Yes, but he has left just now. You came to this spot before he went away. But he should come back soon. I can wait till then. No, I don't think you have the patience to wait until he returns. In other words, it is likely that Lord Narayan, out of compassion for the great devotee he is visiting, will agree to stay with the devotee for some time. And Gopa-kumara is so eager to achieve his goal. 1 second. Sorry, I lost it.
He will be unable to tolerate.
And Gopa-kumara is eager to achieve his goal that he will be unable to tolerate even a moment's delay. Gopa-kumara need not lament over being unable to take permission from Lord Narayan in person. Since the Lord is absent and has already given his permission, this is the best opportunity to leave. If Gopa-kumara waits to consult him in person, seeing Lord Narayan will destroy the desire to go. and he will not achieve his goal. The Lord himself made the current arrangement with all these considerations in mind.
All right, so just reminding us that Gopa-kumara is this present moment. He is in Vaikuntha, it seems. Yeah, he is in Vaikuntha. And some, yeah, quite tactical here. If he sees Lord Narayan, then he may destroy his desire to go to Dwarka. Yeah. All right.
I'm just thinking how Narad Muni is again encouraging him to go forward, like same when Narad Muni went to Kamsa, oh, you should do this, you know, like that. When things are pending, Narad Muni is pushing the situation.
Yeah, it's very similar, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a very unique, wonderful service that Narada has.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it was Narada who really stirred up Kamsa, telling not to trust what was said, you know? Yeah, so here the same.
Same thing. He's like thinking, okay, if he stays, then if he sees Lord Narayan, he might like dither about things, you know?
Yeah.
So now he's pushing him forward because Narad Muni knows Gopa-kumara's goal.
Yeah.
So he's just pushing him forward to get to his goal.
Yeah, so in one sense, Narada Muni is representative of the spiritual master, isn't it? He is the original spiritual master other than Lord Brahma in our parampara. So our spiritual master is always encouraging us to go forward, isn't it? If we think our spiritual master is always encouraging us not to be satisfied with where we are at present, there is a lot more to obtain. Yeah.
Especially when he knows what direction he wants. Like if it was somebody else who's like thinking, okay, I do want to see Lord Narayan, I will wait. Then maybe Narad Muni will say, okay, stay, you know.
Yeah. But with Gopa-kumara, because by chanting the mantra, he has already developed a bit, and he mentioned it, we used the word Raganuga, he's already developed the natural attraction. So for him, he would get restless at some point, and he will move on. So he wants to see the Lord of his heart, you know, the Lord of his mantra, you know.
Because remember, he was restless when he was with the four Kumaras meditating within.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh no, he couldn't do that, you know.
Yeah, that was a very interesting discussion, wasn't it? It was a wonderful discussion where the four Kumaras were glorifying meditation, smaranam.
From within, yeah.
Then it was a wonderful discussion. Yeah. Okay. Great. Someone else like to read? Oh.
Shall I read?
Yes, go ahead, Mother. 250.
251.
251, yeah? Okay. Is that right? Okay.
250, okay. If you say 250.
Okay.
Sri Gopa-kumara said, overjoyed at hearing this, I bowed down repeatedly to Sri Narad, took his blessings and set out, remembering his instructions. After leaving for Ayodhya, Gopa-kumara followed Narad's instruction about remembering Lord Ramachandra's glory by chanting, O husband of Sita, Raghunath, elder brother of Lakshman, O Lord, dear master of Sri Hanuman. After traveling a long way, I saw some forest monkeys restlessly jumping here and there and shouting, Rama, Rama. As I proceeded, they gathered around me and tried to grab my flute from my hand. Then I saw some humans who were even more beautiful than the associates of the Lord of Vaikuntha. Commentary, those monkeys were grabbing at Gopa-kumara's flute, either because they could not bear someone being a devotee of any other Lord than Sri Raghunath, or because they were extremely attracted to the flute. After Gopa-kumara walked a short distance with the monkeys, he saw some human associates of Lord Ramacandra. They appeared more beautiful than any other servants of the Lord he had ever seen. including the four-handed residents of the Vaikuntha, who were blessed with the perfection of Sarupya, having bodily forms like that of Sri Narayan. Those men in behavior like the best of the civilized persons could not tolerate my bowing down to them, and showing other signs of respect. They brought me to the boundary of their city and through the main gate. Both the humans and the monkeys escorted Gopa-kumara into Lord Ramachandra's city. When they reached the gateway, Gopa-kumara was so overwhelmed with ecstasy from seeing these associates of the Lord that he could not enter on his own strength, but only with their help. Lord Ramachandra must have sent these devotees out of the city to meet Gopa-kumara, because without their Lord's order, such devotees exclusively dedicated to the rasa found at his lotus feet would never have ventured so far away. Gopa-kumara could not behave with the man he saw the same way as with the residents of Vaikuntha, because these devotees of Lord Ramachandra did not allow him to show any respect. They were just like the best of Aryans in their behavior, very modest and considerate to everyone. Indeed, the citizen Aryans,
The civilized, yeah.
the civilized Aryans have learned many of their standards of conduct from the devotees of Lord Ram.
Mm. Nice quality, isn't it?
Mhm.
And I know some devotees like that. They're so modest and so humble that they really don't like any praise whatsoever or any respect. They become quite fearful. I don't know if fearful is the right word, you know? So wonderful.
Shy and timid.
Yeah.
And we have one in our pujari. Your god brother.
Oh, yeah, good. His name again is
Mm,
we're gonna get stuck on a name again.
Oh, Krishna. I can see Avatar.
Avatar. Yeah, he's very such a humble disposition that if you try to offer him any praise, he's
You probably go under the
just
cooker.
naturally goes on a natural defensive, you know. So yeah. All right. So interesting. They're more beautiful than the residents of Vaikuntha. Yeah. Okay. You can continue, Maharaj Kishore, 254.
There, before me, I saw Bharat with Shatrughna, seated comfortably with monkeys like Sugriva, Angad, and Jambavan, and surrounded by many handsome men. Thinking Bharat to be Ramachandra, Lord of the Raghus, I recited prayers addressed to that Lord. But Bharat covered his ears and repeatedly forbade me to continue, saying, I am only a servant. Gopa-kumara greeted Bharat with prayers suitable for Lord Ramachandra. All glories to you, great king, emperor of the all emperors. Sri Raghavendra, darling of Janaki. Bharat was shocked to hear such praise. He covered his ears with his hands and exclaimed, I am just his servant. Because Lord Bharat was sitting in a fabulous royal palace on a divine lion throne, attended by many principal servants of Lord Ramachandra and by other residents of Ayodhya, it was easy for Gopa-kumara to mistake Lord Bharat for Lord Ram. Moreover, Bharat's beauty and dress was just like Ram's, and because Bharat is a plenary portion of the personality of Godhead, his wife is a plenary portion of the goddess Lakshmi. So she appeared just like Mother Sita, and Shatrughna, who stood by Bharat's throne, looked not much different from Lakshmana. Afraid, I stood motionless with joints palmed before Lord Bharat. Hanuman then quickly made me leave that place and enter the inner precincts of the city.
Precincts, yeah, precincts.
Precincts of the city, where I saw the most amazing sight, the Supreme Lord in his form as the best of human beings. He sat comfortably on a royal throne in the best of the palaces, a palace full in all charming attractions, happy and marked with all the signs of a great personage. He seemed somewhat like Lord Narayan. Lord Ramachandra's face beamed with satisfaction, and his body showed all marks of a perfect person that are set forth in the scripture, such as an expansive chest, a neck like a bull's, a mighty arms as broad as the trunk of a sal tree. His youthfulness, his ornaments, and exquisite shape of his limbs made him look much like the Lord of Vaikuntha. But certain especially attractive features distinguished him from that Lord. His hand was adorned with a bow. His glances were delightfully modest and humble. Playing the role of a perfect king, he followed all the prescribed duties of a religious behavior, prescribed rules of the religious behavior. Lord Ramachandra is even more beautifully attractive than Lord Narayan. He has two arms. He is the best of the bowmen, and in his own unique way, he is the best protector of the citizens of his kingdom. He strictly adheres to the Vedic principles of civilized conduct. I was bewildered by the flowing ecstasy of his darshan, and I fell down before him as if offering prostrate obeisances. My confusion thus robbed me of the supreme benefit of seeing him. But then, by his mercy, I was able to stand up again and see him clearly. The personality of Godhead is the supreme goal in all endeavors of human existence, since even in the most sublime endeavor of the pure devotion, he is the goal. He awards such devotion to his surrendered devotees. Sri Hanuman left me, pulled back by his own regular service, and in a single jump went to join his Lord. On the left of the Lord, pleasing him with her service, stood his dear counterpart, Sita, and on his other side, his younger brother, Lakshmana. Leaving Gopa-kumara at the very spot where he had fallen to the ground, Hanuman went to the side of Lord Ramachandra by jumping as monkeys generally do. Hanuman was drawn back to his Lord's side by the ecstatic attraction of the eternal service. His desire above all was to do whatever would give his Lord the most pleasure. Although the sight of Lord Ramachandra is naturally blissful when he is with his beloved Janaki, with Lakshmana, and with his best servants Hanuman, his beauty increases manifold, and whoever sees him becomes immersed in the most exceptional ecstasy. This picture of Lord Ramachandra, together with Sita, Lakshmana, and Hanuman, depicts the Supreme Lord in his specially compassionate mood of reciprocating with his intimate servants. Sita Devi in particular is the perfectly compatible consort for Lord Ramachandra, and her beauty and other qualities excel even those of the goddess Lakshmi in Vaikuntha. Standing on the side of the Lord, she displays such pastimes as offering him betel nut to chew.
Yeah, there's one interesting point here which is coming to mind. You see what this description, and it's not the first time we've heard it in Gopa-kumara, becoming attracted. He is becoming attracted spontaneously attracted to the beauty of Lord Ramacandra, and he's become overwhelmed. So this is can I say this is the pure state of a jiva who has a pure heart, and this is what I can say. This is the spiritual world. How everyone is attracted and enamored by the beauty of the Lord, or by God himself. So in comparison to that, in the material world, in illusion, we are attracted to matter. Yeah, we're attracted to things and stuff in this material world, which doesn't give us any ultimate long-lasting satisfaction. Yeah, but here in the spiritual world, everyone is enamored by the worshipful Lord. Here, specifically Lord Ramacandra, Hanuman, Bharat, and Shatrughna, all the monkeys, etc., they all have this attraction to God here in the form of Lord Ramacandra. But in illusion, in the material world, we have attraction to material things. So we're originally that attraction in the spiritual world, in the pure heart, one's attracted to the perfect person, which is God, and his personal form here is Lord Ramacandra. You know, this thought was coming to my mind because we have read this before. It sounds familiar. Even Gopa-kumara making a mistake. I think we've read that before as well, where he becomes overwhelmed with ecstasy. And he thinks that it's the worshipful Lord who is before him. But no, it's a servant. But yeah, try and imagine, if we can, everyone, thousands, millions of, don't know, how many residents there are in Ayodhya. And everyone has an overwhelming, natural, loving attraction and affection for the Lord, and nothing else. Yeah, nothing else. But here we're absorbed in everything else but Krishna. But most people, they're just.
World,
Sorry?
in the material world, do we not get bored with something? Like I was thinking, when I first used to come to Soho, we used to go to the program to a rich person's house, you know, Brhad, kirtans, and
Yeah.
served so nicely. And you think, wow, look at this beautiful house, and look how drinks are waiting as you go in. The shoes are taken, the coats taken, everything, you know. For a while, it feels so nice. Then you get bored with it. You don't really want to go there again, you know.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, this is
like that, you know. Even if it's so opulent looking, you start seeing cracks in it, and it doesn't go with your sadhana, you know.
Yeah, so because it's invested with the potency to some degree, this material world and the things within it. So there is some type of attraction because it's a distant, it's exhibiting the distant attraction of Krishna. Like, for instance, if you go to a rich man's house, as you're describing, where's the opulence coming from? It's coming from Krishna. And it's a far distant shadow of what Krishna actually has. You know, you can imagine imagine here, Gopa-kumara is going into Ayodhya and seeing the opulence of Lord Ram, or when Narada Muni goes to visit all the different palaces of Krishna's queens, etc. So we're attracted because it is exhibiting something of the Lord's opulences. But as you're already saying, because it's just a partial, you know what I'm trying to say? We actually, because it's not Krishna, okay, there's some attraction there, but actually it's not the complete thing. So at some point you're going to find something disappointing. Yeah. Like it may be maybe so many like someone who has beauty or something, you know, I mean, it doesn't last, and no one is perfectly beautiful or perfectly knowledgeable. Yeah, so this material world, it kind of breeds contempt, isn't it?
Mm.
We become it breeds contempt because it's not the original world. It is not the spiritual world. So therefore, it's just like you could say, just as Gopa-kumara has come to some level of dissatisfaction wherever he goes. So similar, as you're saying, Ramacandra, yeah, it might have some immediate attraction, but because it's not the spiritual world and we are spirit, we are spiritual by original nature, then it's not good enough for us. And it's not,
Feeling
you know,
uncomfortable being in places like that. You just don't.
yeah.
Yeah, there's big chandeliers and the stairs going all nicely up and everything's nice. You just don't feel comfortable after a while.
Yeah, well, some might. We don't. Yeah. So yeah. But even in, I think we mentioned this before as well, even in the spiritual realm, saying Vaikuntha, I mean, everything there is of great opulence, but the overwhelming attraction is to the Lord himself. And everything there is a manifestation of his internal Shakti. So it all kind of reminds all the opulence in the spiritual world. It's just it's indicative of the opulence of their worshipful Lord. So everything in the spiritual world reminds one of the qualities and beauty of the Lord. It's not as if someone goes to the spiritual world and they're more excited about the buildings than they are the Lord. Or the parks or no, everything is actually the Lord's internal energy, and it's all the trees and all the scents and all the flowers and all the bees and all the birds and all the hills and all the houses and all the people. It just further enhances one's attraction to Krishna. And then when one actually sees Krishna, from which all that is emanating from, it's like one gets lost in the ocean of ecstatic devotional appreciation, which we read about often here. Yeah.
I was thinking how the description of the Lord and how beautiful he is. And yes, once like Gopa-kumara is going there, he's going to be like completely like, it's so beautiful and everything. And then after a while, he starts remembering, I'm thinking, his own Lord, Madan Gopal. And then he'll start saying, oh no, but I'm not still satisfied here.
Yeah, that we're going to see. So I think Lord Ram's worshipped in awe and reverence. Yeah, he's not worshipped as Krishna is worshipped in his Leela in Vrindavan. Yeah, so, and yeah, good point. All right, I'm going to have a read if you don't mind. I'm a bit excited to read. So for a few minutes, my voice is a bit weak. Let's see. So Shri 260, is that right? Yeah. Shri Hanuman sometimes stood in front of the Lord, fanning him with excellent white chamaras and singing his glories, and sometimes palms joined, as we know that's the classic Hanuman at the manner. Palms joined, he praised the Lord with wonderful prayers of his own composition. At one moment, he carried a white umbrella, and another, he massaged the Lord's lotus feet. And at yet another, he did several kinds of service all at once. All right, so he's multitasking here. Amazingly, he was not in the least fatigued by all of this. Commentary. Gopa-kumara saw Hanuman render several services at once, singing the Lord Ramachandra's glories, fanning the Lord, reciting famous prayers, massaging his feet, and more. And even such simultaneously expenditures of energy didn't seem to tire Hanuman at all. All right, so he's obviously not encased in a material body. His body is surcharged, spiritual. Okay. Overwhelmed by the greatest joy, I bow down again and again, saying, all glories, all glories. Then that soft-hearted Lord soothed me fully with a gentle nectar of his supremely impressive words. Okay. Commentary. Lord Ramacandra is extremely kind-hearted. His affectionate speech impressed Gopa-kumara more than anything he had heard before. Now, I don't know what's coming to mind, but I was thinking of it as we was reading, and I will try and find the story, actually. I vaguely remember the one story. This is during the time of the British Raj in India. There was one viceroy who was given deputy or given charge of a Pacific states in India. I forget where. And he was English. And on his tour, somehow or another, he had what can only be described, in the way he described it, he had darshan, Lord Ramacandra appeared before him. And Sita, and Sitaram Lakshman, they all appeared before him. Now he hadn't any extensive knowledge of Lord Ram, but so he didn't really, as far as I can remember, he wasn't aware that this was God, but he thought this was some extraordinary person. And he was overwhelmed by that. And he was explaining it. Then after the experience, he was explaining it, and as he explained the description, it was obvious that that Lord Ram appeared before him. But the way he described it, and his heart, he described his heart, I have to find a story, that from that point on, he couldn't get the vision of the beauty and the quality, the beauty, the astounding beauty and the stature of Lord Ram. It wouldn't leave his heart, ever. So he became very much devoted in his heart to Lord Ram. I shall try and find a story. Unless it was one of those Chinese whispers, but I don't think so. But yeah, so he got special mercy. He was he was a foreigner, so to speak, and he had darshan of Lord Ram. Anyway, sorry, a bit of a side.
What's in his heart depends what's internal.
Yes, again, the Lord appears. Generally, he can appear before anyone. Even though generally he's going to appear before someone who has great love for him, but he's not bound by that. He can have fun, and he can appear before someone, and by that darshan, then they do become pure. They become purified by that darshan. Well, it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing how we read that some people trying to kill Krishna, they don't really appreciate. Because they're envious, the demons are envious. Lord of Shringadev, Shishapal, they don't become overwhelmed and lose all their, become purified. Although they do get purified. They try and kill the Lord out of envy. Anyway, that's going down in another direction. All right, let's carry on a bit. Yeah. Okay, so 263. The Supreme Lord said, my dear son of a cowherd, my best friend, well done, well done. By showing such affection, you have conquered me. Enough with all this exertion. Now just relax. You have made me, your dear friend, unhappy for long enough. Okay. With these words, Lord Ramacandra congratulates Gopa-kumara for his victorious entrance into Ayodhya. The Lord repeats himself, sadhu, sadhu, to tell the extent of his joy. He assumes that the long journey must have been strenuous, so he asks Gopa-kumara simply to rest a while. Perhaps Gopa-kumara can remain in Ayodhya for an extended time. In any case, at least he should take a break from offering so many needless dandavats and prayers. Oh, it's getting carried away. These displays of reverence cause pain to the Lord, who considers Gopa-kumara a close friend. 264. Please get up, and all good fortune to you. Give up this formal respect, dear friend. I am always controlled. When someone's trying to come in, I'm always controlled by such pure love of yours. Okay, commentary. When the Lord saw Gopa-kumara still standing respectfully, the Lord tried to put him at ease by offering him blessings. And when Gopa-kumara still offered obeisances, all right, so he's not getting up from the floor. He's just paying obeisances. The Lord told him outright to stop being so formal. I am actually under your control, so how can I be an object of your reverence? So that's going to send Gopa-kumara into more ecstasy. Okay. Sri Gopa-kumara said, on the Lord's order, Hanuman then raised me from the ground and brought me by force to where the Lord was resting his sacred lotus feet. Commentary. After all the Lord's entreaties, Gopa-kumara, helplessly moved by transcendental joy, continued to bow down and pray to the Lord. Sri Raghunath thus had to order Hanuman to stop him physically. Yeah, Hanuman's quite strong-bodied, so I'm just reflecting. I guess that's going to be revealed. You know, at the moment, this is obviously he's in great awe and reverence here. So something must happen when Gopa-kumara finally meets Krishna, because that relationship, that awe and reverence is absent in the place where Gopa-kumara will actually, I think, as far as I understood, he will actually find, or he's the final destination. So how his mood of awe and reverence, which we're seeing for each of the expansions and manifestations of Krishna, how that will change when he comes in contact with Krishna himself. I know he faints. No, who's it? Yeah, no, Krishna faints, isn't it? When he finally, he finally meets Gopa-kumara, and he faints away, and all the residents of Raj, they all come round, really worried what's happened. They look quizzically at Gopa-kumara for causing their Lord to faint. Anyway, we shall see how that unfolds.
Yeah, but you can, like, everywhere he's going, it's all awe and reverence. Everybody around
Yeah, that's
him
what I'm saying.
awe and reverence. But when he probably will come to Goloka Vrindavan, and he sees the boys are coming, the cows are running around, the boys are playing around with Krishna, so the mood is all completely changed.
Yeah, but I think it actually, by dint of his like the example when he saw the Lord of Vaikuntha, then he couldn't but help himself, and he wanted to exchange with Lord Narayan in the same way as one might exchange with Krishna. Yeah. So perhaps that, I think it might be that I know in Vrindavan, the residents of Vrindavan, they are swimming in the ocean of the Lord's beauty and sweetness. So even if the Lord may exhibit some aspects of his godhood, because they're so deeply immersed in his sweetness, it doesn't interrupt their worship. It doesn't interrupt. It cannot stop that tide of spontaneous loving attraction in a very intimate way. I think it might be something when he actually goes to Vrindavan, then he's so overwhelmed about the charming attraction of Krishna that, anyway, let's read.
We doing Vaidhi Bhakti, right? And then we go to Raganuga Bhakti, right? So within us, there is playful mood.
They're not playing. I think it's that. Yeah, there's a Well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that we begin to appreciate Krishna, not because he's God,
Yeah.
but because he's so beautiful
Yes.
and he's so charming. So we begin to, yeah, in the beginning we approach variety, in which we should. Then if one advances, then different, yeah, then we become, then, yeah, as my spiritual master once said, that we have to get past this Om Namo Bhagavate, Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Not that there's something wrong with that, but as one progresses, one develops. But one should be very careful, and we have to make sure that we are worshipping the Lord, especially worshipful Lord in the temple, with awe and reverence, as we spoke a few times before. But it's interesting how that inner attraction develops.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you know, externally, of course, you have to be all reverence, but now and then internally you do feel like, oh, I wish I could hug him. I wish I could kiss him. Like, you know, internally, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But eventually, that will develop. That
will develop. That the more we hear about that relationship that the residents of Vrindavan have with Krishna, then the more that same sentiment will develop in us. Tat Bhava, it's called. All right, we've gone over time. We've gone over the rules and regulations. We have to follow the rules and regulations. We have a strict rule and regulation. We have to finish at 7.
Which one?
Vaidhi Bhakti.
26.
Yeah, sorry?
What text are we on?
Nah, do we read this one? Let's just read it again. It then came to my mind that all my long cherished desires have borne fruit beyond what I had ever hoped. And where else could I have achieved such perfection? All right. Being treated so kindly by Lord Ramacandra was the fulfillment of all the desires of Gopa-kumara had ever had, and more even than he had ever dreamed of. He had traveled throughout the material and spiritual universes, but he had never been so fully satisfied. All right. So again, he's fully satisfied. Let's see how long that lasts. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us for this wonderful reading of Bhagavatamrta. And have a wonderful devotional weekend and
Hare Krishna.
more channel readings
Hare
next week.
Krishna.
Jai
Hare
Shri
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Shri
Lord
Krishna.
Premanande, Hare
Jai
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna.
Hare.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram. Hare Ram.
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Hare.
Hare